Opa! Welcome to the International Food Bazaar, Mike's Kitchen. Today we're going to make Spanikopita the Antonopoulos way. This recipe is straight from Greece and it comes from the islands, and it is probably the most famous dish in all of Greece, and it's a really easy recipe. The literal translation is spinach pie. So we first start off with 2 pounds of feta cheese. There's a lot of types of different feta cheese you can buy, but on this recipe I like to use the Bulgarian style because it's a little bit saltier. There's also a French and a Greek. You could also use the Greek, but I personally prefer the Bulgarian. It is a great cheese to use for this. And the other one that you want to use is called a Kasseri cheese. This one is a Stella Kasseri, and it's 1 pound, and it's a little bit denser than some of the other brands out there, but it has a nice bite to it. The other thing that you're going to be using is you're going to be using Filo dough. I don't make my own Filo dough. You can buy it pre-made. It's in the freezer section and it's rolled. And you want to use 10 sheets of Filo dough per layer, and then we put the mix in between. The other thing that we use in between the layers of Filo dough, we're going to be using butter. And then to make our mix, we're going to take this cheese, we're going to grate it, I'm going to use 8 eggs, and then I'm going to use 4 pounds of cut spinach, cleaned. And then also we're going to be using 4 onions, then I'm going to be putting in 1 bunch of parsley chopped, a bunch of dill, and also some scallions. And then to bind everything together, we're going to use 8 eggs. So let's get going. So this is it. This up. Now I have a secret way of putting everything together. It's kind of like shake and bake, but it works very well. So we have our parsley completed here. So I mix everything in a bag instead of a bowl. So, but I'm going to cut all my ingredients up right now. And the easiest way to cut stuff up is using one of these. And I don't use a small knife because it's way too much work on the wrist. So these are going to be my herbs that we're going to be using. And then we're going to mix those together. Put that on the side. I'll be cutting up some onions. When you cut the onions up, it's very important that you put them on a skillet and you caramelize them. Not too much, but just enough so that they're transparent. So the best way to cut an onion is to cut it in half, and then you'd peel the skin off, such as so. And then you do it with the same one. Then also what I like to do is I like to have the onions face down, because then you don't get all the juice in your face and make you cry. So the last thing you want to do is cry while you're cooking. So I take that off here. And then you do 1 horizontal slice on each, like that. And then you chop. Kind of like slice, dice, paradise, as my kids would say. When I usually cut these onions, I want them to be about 1/4 inch thick, because I don't want them to disappear when I'm making the mix. So we want to keep those a little bit bigger. So those are here. We're going to take these onions, and then just make sure they're all cut up nice. Okay. I'm going to take my onions, I'm going to put it in my skillet. I already did the other 3 onions, so we're good to go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that on high. And then I'm going to let it go until they're caramelized. So we're good there. Now it's just a matter of letting those cook and clean. Now the other thing that we do is we're going to make the binding agent, which is the eggs. I already chopped the spinach, so we're good there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab another bowl. I'm going to crack these eggs, then I'm going to mix them up. So once everything's ready to go, that's just my dog. Don't worry about her. She's a big mascot, Labradoodle. It's a whirlwind mascot dog. All the housewives in Oregon love Labradoodles. So we go ahead and we break our eggs, such as so. And then you want to mix the eggs before you put them in. Not a lot, but just enough to break the yolks. Just so. I think that's about right, just like that. And we can keep that on the side here. This ouzo is not part of the spinach pie, but it's just a part of me being Greek. I love to drink ouzo, especially when I'm cooking. So, exovasana, that means out with your worries. I'm going to cut up a couple of these scallions. These you don't need to cook because they're small enough. But I usually like to do 4. They're a good mix, you know, to use. I don't throw away any part of the onion. I usually just like to leave them all there. So a lot of people won't cut the green stems, but in this we put in everything. So in Greece, nothing goes to waste. So those are good to go. All of our ingredients are here, good to go. Okay, now I'm going to mix my onions, see how they're doing. So they're still taking a while to cook. Here. So we'll keep those in until the end. So the next step that we're going to do now is I'm going to take out my bag. This is a secret, and just get a plastic bag instead of a bowl, and it makes life so much easier. So you take your cut spinach, you just throw it right in the back of the bowl. Then it's almost like a large pastry bag that we consider it. And then you take your other ingredients, which would be our cut parsley here, and our cut dill, and then we just throw it in the bag. So I usually just like to put it down the bottom here like this, take this, put it here like that, and then I just scoop everything right in, and then it just makes life so much easier. So take some of this leftover goodness, take that, stick that in there. Then what I do is I put that on there. So these are like some of our ingredients here that we're also going to use. We're going to use about 2 tablespoons of black pepper and about a half a teaspoon of allspice. You don't need too much allspice, it goes a long way. So I take that and then we just go ahead and we throw that in the bag and we mix it. Okay? So there's our spice. That is done. And then what you can do is you just blow this thing up a little air, like that, and then just mix it. Just mix it real good, and that's good to go, and it's ready. Okay, the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to grate the cheese, and then we're going to be ready to go. I'm going to mix my onions. They're getting there. Not yet. But you want a lot of onions in this because onions are kind of one of the main ingredients in this. Almost all of Greek cooking and Mediterranean cooking all have onions. Onions are really easy to grow, and the thing that's really nice about onions is nothing eats them except us. The birds won't eat them, rats won't eat them, the snails won't eat them. It's the easiest thing to grow in your vegetable garden. Okay, so this is starting to get caramelized. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grate the cheese. This one I just do right on the table. You just want to use the thickest one possible. And this one you can almost just crumble because it's pretty soft. You know, just like crumble, it's almost easier than grating it. But that's it. It's a little bit messy, but man, it's really good stuff. So it almost crumbles in your hand as you're shredding it. So that one's good to go. Just break up the bigger pieces by hand a little bit. Okay. Then we go ahead and we'll put this in our bag as well with all of our other cheese ingredients. It's pure goodness. Look at that. That's insane. So it's a lot of cheese, but who doesn't like cheese, right? So the cool thing about feta cheese, it's made out of sheep's milk, so it's a little bit different than most cheeses in America, because most cheese in America is made out of cow's milk. Sheep's milk is what the Greeks have been using for years. So the baby sheep is a lamb, by the way. So I'm going to keep mixing my onions. They're almost ready to go here as well. They're smelling really good. Did you know that onions have sugar in them? They do caramelize, and that's why they're called caramel, because sugar is burnt and it becomes caramel. This is our Kasseri cheese. This one's a little bit more dense, and so we're going to go ahead and do this one. Now this recipe that I'm making is almost like a double batch. But this stuff goes by so quickly, people would go crazy over it because it's so good. At least my recipe is. I've had some really terrible Spanikopita at the stores and fake Greek restaurants. So you never see Greeks going out to restaurants because most restaurants are not real Greek food. But all these ingredients that I got here today, I got them from my friends at the International Market, and go see Ed and Pat. Those guys will take care of you. I've been going there for 40 years. I learned how to cook from my mom, and this is where we go. People are really nice, food's fresh, and also best prices in town. So it's kind of a secret. You'll see all the people from the Mediterranean there. And I'll tell you what, they got some of the best stuff in the world, right here in San Jose. So I'm making my cheese, almost there. Let me check my onions. The onions are looking pretty good. So this cheese gives you a little bit of bite. So that's the thing that's kind of nice about it. It makes it really nice. You know, it kind of irritates the top of your mouth. But that's when you know the cheese is really good. Check that out. That is insane. So we go ahead and throw that in our mixing bag. Okay. That's good. Now I'm going to check my onions. Those are almost perfect. I think they might be at this point. Wash my hands. Okay. Almost done with our mix. So, looks like this is good to go. Bring it over for you guys to see it. So here's the onions. This is what they should look like. A little transparent and still square. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop these babies up. Throw them right in our bag. I put some olive oil in there too. Not too much, but just enough to throw the onions so that it's thick, you know. I'm going to go ahead and use a spoon on this. I don't want to, the pan's really hot, so we use an iron skillet in our house. Because that is the best pan in the world to cook with. Almost done. Okay, it's all good to go. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to add the eggs to the mix. So here's our eggs, the 8 eggs that we had. Spread that around there. Okay, so now we're all ready to go. Shake this baby up. And then it should be all mixed out perfect. I know this looks crazy, but man, I'll tell you what, this is the secret of the trade. And so it comes out perfecto. Completely mixed. If I had to mix this by hand, it would be like really hard. So I like to make things easy for myself. I'm doing it. I'm going to show you what this mix looks like when it's done. So check this out. Look how well mixed that is. And it did not take hardly any effort at all to do that. Okay, so the mix is done. Now we're ready to go with phyllo dough. I started out, I put 10 sheets on the bottom, and between each sheet I put in butter. So you just want to use 1 cube of butter. Use salted butter, that's the easiest thing to use. Well, it tastes the best, not the easiest. So after I did 10, I'm going to take another shot of my ouzo. Put some more Greek in me. The more ouzo you drink, the more Greek you become. Okay, so I put 10 sheets here. I'm going to go ahead and put my filling on top. And see how well mixed it is? Just right in the bag. So this is a double recipe, so we don't want to put too much. And then you just flatten it out, so, like this. And then I go ahead and I pat it down a little bit. Oh, by the way, you should be preheating your oven at 350. This goes in the oven for about 45 minutes. And I will show you now how to do the phyllo. So this comes in a large sheet. I cut it in half, and then I go ahead and I use it like this. So you just put the sheet on. It won't cover the whole thing. The butter you need to melt, so I went ahead and I melted some already. Then in between you want to go ahead and you want to butter each sheet. That makes it really flaky. So, like that. 10 sheets, remember that, 10. Okay, that was my soccer number 10, so that's your lucky number 2. And it's also the number of Pele, the greatest soccer player that ever lived. I think he must have been Greek from another mother or something. So good. It's okay if they tear apart a little bit because no one's going to see them. Just make sure the top one's good. That's all you got to really worry about. Just put them, and then just keep moving the sheets around until everything's covered. Then I'll show you how to. Then you can, like, you know, tuck everything in on the sides and make it look, you know, more presentable. If you need more than 10 sheets, you can use more 10 sheets. Just keep doing it until it looks good. I think we're getting there. It's starting to look pretty good to me. Okay. This is what it looks like when it's done. Now the last thing that you want to do is you want to slice your filo before you get in there. And just put the last layer of butter on there. So I go ahead and I cut it right down the middle. And just go all the way through. And then in equals, right? So equal. Okay, and then you can do now thirds here. Then the last thing you want to do with this is you want to, I always do this, I always put on a dash of water. I call this my holy water. I bless it, and it's good to go. So now we're ready to go in the oven. Everything's sliced. Good to go. We throw it in at 350, and we will see you in 45 minutes with our finished spinach pie. Hey, we're back. Opa! Anyways, we're back here, and I think it's been 45 minutes, and we're ready to go. Check out our spinach pie, also known as AKA Spanikopita. Now that's how you do it. That's a thing of beauty, right there. See that? So once you see the, you know, the top being a little bit browned, you know it's ready to go. So let's cut into it. So the first thing that we do is we put it on the pan here, and I just finished cutting it. You get that bottom layer cut. You can let it cool, you know, a little bit. That's all cut now. Take the first piece. Take that puppy out. Woo! That is sheer perfection, baby. Look at that. That's real Greek spinach pie. Spanikopita straight from Greece. Thank you, International Food Market, and everybody else.
Wait, Dad, you gotta do that again.
Thank you, Madeline. you're in for a treat. This is the best stuff in the whole world. So good. Wow. Look how flaky this is too. Woo! Greek style. Only the best. Please leave your comments at the end. God bless you.